Hello, beautiful people. How you doing? My name is Stella, and welcome back to my world. All right. Thank you, Jesus, for another great day. Take all the glory, take all the honor in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. I'm so excited because I have another great episode for you today. All right. Let's dive into it. So today's episode is titled Neglect. Yeah. All right. And it's a continuation of a series which already began, which is titled Childhood Trauma that we drag into our adulthood that has damaged so many of us adults emotionally, knowingly or unknowingly. Mostly, most of us do not get the privilege to grow up with our parents, our biological parents. Or if you know you grew up with your biological parents, you still suffer for neglected, which is defined as suffering for a lack of proper care. If you know you're still suffering for it, join the episode. All right, let's dive into it. And so I'm going to share my own story of how I became a house girl as a kid growing up in my own father's house. All right, before going to this full episode, I just want to say before I go into this full episode, I don't have anything against anyone, and I've grown now. I've been through it. I'm on the bright side now, so I don't have anything against anyone. Let me just put it out there. This is just me as a lady sharing my own story to see. I'm praying, I'm hoping it's going to help someone out there. That's my main aim, sharing my own story, and hopefully you want to share yours. The platform is open. If you have so much question you want to ask me, please feel free to ask me any question. I will answer you. And if you're still going through all these emotions, all the previous ones that I've mentioned, stealing, anger, fear, and any one of them you're going through, and you still find it difficult to pass through it, to come to the brighter side, I will encourage you, please don't give up fighting, because I know one day God will definitely deliver you from it. And if you know you don't know Christ yet, and you still have all this still going through this trauma in you, I beg you that you surrender to Christ. He's the author and the finisher of our faith. Only Him can save you. I'm telling you, because some of all this trauma we'll go through, some of them are physical and some of them are not. Some of them are spiritual. You can understand when I explain my fear and lack of low self-esteem on my previous one. You can understand. So, and I will say, if you know you're adult already and you struggle and you need counseling, please get one. I will beg you to get one. And thank God for this platform, and I have an auntie who does this counseling thing. So her name is Anna. I'll leave a link down below if just in case you need counseling to share your emotion, whatever trauma that you're going through. She is the right person for you to counsel you the way you want. And for you who are still running away, you've gotten your self-realization, you're still running away for it, you don't want to face it, you're drinking or taking some medication, please, it's not helping. I will say by the time you're sober, the issue is still there, you're still going to face it. So, be that said, I'll beg you to get your self-realization. When you do, pray and start the journey of healing. I know it's not easy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that it's easy. It's not easy. Mine took me years to get to where I am today. It took a lot of years to get to where I am today. It's not good. It's not going to be easy because Christ didn't promise us life of easy, but it's going to be there to always guide you through. If you are willing to walk, if you are willing to be like you want to be on the brighter side, He will guide you through. And I pray as I share my own story today, you will learn from it and you will begin your healing. If you have already healed already, you have some testimony to share, you have some advice to give, the platform is still open. You can come. Then we can come sit together to share the story. Like I said, I'm hoping that this is going to be like a community where we can help ourselves, because some of us adults don't want to share what we go through or what has damaged us emotionally. So this is me, Stella, sharing my own story of how I became a house girl, my own father's house, all the trauma I went through growing up, and how I get to my healing side. I think we're going to do this as 2 episodes. So the journey and the healing side. All right, let's dive into it. All right, let me share you my story. All right. Growing up as a child, like I said in my previous video, I didn't have the privilege to grow up with my mom. And for my dad, I only have very tiny bits memory that I can remember that I grew up with him. And I'll just tell you the story so you can get to understand where I'm coming from. As a child, growing up with my just few minutes when I grew to grow up with my dad was when I remember when my mom just recently left. I don't know that what caused that dispute or argument. I think we're going to do another episode for that, but I just want to tell you my story of this that concerned this neglected episode. So I noticed, because I was still little, probably around two-ish, or three, all those kind of age, because I was little then. My younger one is still crawling. He has not started walking, those kind of stuff. So the only memory that is child and father memory I have with my dad is very little, not too much. So I'm just gonna share with you. So the best one, I'll show you the best one, and the best one ever that I grew up with. Yeah. So I remember as my dad, as a young man growing up, when my mom left. So I remember that during those child baby time where my dad would carry us and drop us in this what they call daycare, daycare center. When he drop us there, he will come back from work, they'll pick us up, then will take us on our way going home, buy us chocolate, cheese ball, all this kind of stuff just to play with as kids. And that didn't last for a while. It's just a short period of time that I had that with my dad. So that's the only rapport or only memory, good memory, or only father and daughter memory that I grew up with, like I say I actually had with my dad. So that period of time, then my dad got married, and I think in his head or his thinking, probably when he gets married, this lady is going to help her to at least assist, because we are two, to take care of this kid. Maybe in his head that was what he was thinking, but unfortunately for him, it didn't go the way he planned it. But be that said, I want to use this privilege to say, please, if you are a young girl out there or a young guy, and you dated someone that you are so desperately you want to get married to, and beg you in the name of God this day, you know that the lady have kids already, or you know that the guy have son or daughter's kids already, you know deep down in your heart you don't have self-love enough to cherish, to take care of these other baggages which they have already, and you still want to get married to them just for you to suffer the children. Please, I beg you, don't. Do not bring another damaged children do not raise another damaged kid into this world, because some of them might not survive it like I do. So please, if you know deep down in your heart you're not going to take care of them, both male or female, you're not going to that marriage with the tension of not taking care of the kids like you're not going to see them like your own, please leave them alone, because God will definitely bring somebody that will appreciate the person and the kids. God will. Be that said, thank you. All right. So when my dad got married, oh shit, sorry for that. That's everything went left. You see that tiny privilege, that little tiny privilege that we had with our dad, like going to school, coming back, buying chocolate on the road, all those kind of stuff. Everything ended. Everything, not even tiny bits. Like everything ended. So I remember that I became the house girl in the house, doing all the house chores, everything. And I remember, I don't think I can't really say in confidence say that my dad know 99% of what was going on at home because he's at work. The 99% of his day is at work, and when he come back from work, or even if you try to want to have that little tiny, you see the wife want to take all over, so there's no even space for you. So I remember after my dad's wife had the first child, when I grew up to that age where he's still going for the daycare, I'll be the one to take the child to the daycare, then drop him there. Then when I come back home, she will like go and sleep. After after all my house chores and everything. So I'll sleep for that minute till when it's time for me to go bring the child from the school. She will wake me up, then I'll go back to the school, then bring him home, then you know the way they do that stuff now. So it was a pleasant, like, I'm just trying to just to make it fair enough, it wasn't pleasant at that moment, so growing up like that, growing up with my dad and being a house girl in the house, not going to school, not eating properly, no clothes, fats, nothing. So I noticed one day, the only day and the last day that my dad spanked me was because of his wife. I remember, as a child, the people, I believe that the first love you're supposed to get in this world are supposed to be for your parents, both mom or dad. Or even if as a single mom or single dad, you at least try your best to at least guide, mold, take care of this kid. Like, this is my flesh, this is my kid. You try to nurture them, but I didn't have none of them. Nothing, no nurture, no care, no affection, no nothing. When I mean 0.0.0.com, I mean nothing. Like, there is no affection, no care, nothing. That's how bad it was. Like, nothing, no affection is too far. Not even tiny love, this tiny bit of love, nothing. Even if you can say it, there is not like effort to say this is my child, like I want to be there for her. Nothing. My mom tried a little bit, but nothing. Okay, growing up like that, so I remember one day, the first and last day that my dad spanked me was, as a child, if you do something wrong, deep down you know to do something wrong, and when they spank you, definitely you deserve the spanking, you deserve being spanked. But when you did not, because as a child, I'm not a rebellious child or well child that is stubborn. When you say me something, I'll go, I'm obedient, everything. But when it's time to be stubborn, I know it's my right, I'm stubborn. But normally, on a normal good day, I would not just pick up anything and be stubborn. So I remember this day, I can't remember what I actually did though, but I can remember the action that took place. So my dad came back from work. I don't know what the wife told her, blah blah blah. Then I think my dad was arguing with her like, it's okay, it's just a child, that's normal thing. So the lady, she insists that they must spank me. So I remember that my dad took his bets. You can see the pain in his eyes. He doesn't want to, but he has to please the wife and his family. So what to do? I remember my dad spanked me with pain in his heart and everything that day. I cried, so I slept, and that was it. So growing up in that toxic environment, they helpful, and thank God when my grandma came, and I said it in my previous video how my grandma took me for my dad's place. Then I took me to the village. Then I grew up with my grandma. So growing up with my grandma, like I said, was nice and everything. At least she taught me basic things that I need. Not as in she didn't train me, like I said on the previous. She didn't train me as a child. She trained me like an adult, like things I need that will help me in life. How to make money, how to count money, how she discovered my talent, how to cook, how to be respectful, how to be contented, all those things. She just teach me morals of life. She didn't write, all those child or because she'd always say, I don't have much time, you need all these things to survive in life. So that's how I grew up with my grandma. So when I lost my grandma, I remember, yeah, there's one incident. Sorry that I keep going back and forth because, I'm adult and I'm trying to bring all the memory together. So, in case I'm going back and forth, I'm sorry. So, when my grandma was still alive, after I left my dad long years ago, he didn't even bother to come check or anything. But normally maybe during festive period, or I don't remember the season, but one of the season, I remember he came home because I was with my grandma. But growing up like that, I think he noticed I didn't acknowledge him as a dad because I'm just with my grandma. It's like you're just growing up, you don't have mom or dad. That was how I felt, like no mom, no dad. So I just grew up with my grandma. I think he noticed I didn't acknowledge him as a dad. So I remember him walking towards me where I was sitting down. He walked to me and he was like, I'm your dad, and I'm still your dad, even if I don't have money, even if no matter what's going on in life, they won't change the fact that I'm still your dad. Do you know the anger as a child then? Do you know the anger that I felt inside me that day? I was angry that I wanted to vent, but I could not because I can't even really put the word together. The mixed emotion I was going inside me was like, inside me then, I was like, do you think it's all about money? It's not. Being a dad doesn't mean it's going to be all about money. There is no affection, there is no emotion, there is no love, there is nothing. 0.0.com that will show to prove that you are my dad. There is nothing. So now you're standing in front of me that no matter the situation, even if you don't have money, you're still my dad. So how do you expect me as a child to respond to you at that moment? Where I just looked at him with the anger in me. I just walked away because, to be sincere, I was still mad like that. It took me years to forgive my dad. That will be the last episode of this series. It took me years. I was mad. I just looked at him and I walked away. I didn't even say nothing. So, yeah, that's the other conversation growing up that I and my dad have grown up. Do you know right now, like, where people say, when your dad will call you and say, and do you know when you're growing up? Yeah, I and my dad don't have nothing to discuss about that because truly we don't have. What are we going to discuss about? Nothing about, oh, when we were growing up, you were like, no, we don't have it because we don't. So, I remember that incident. So, growing up from there, when I lost my grandma, it became hell living with my wicked auntie. So, when I said in my previous video that it was toxic, I mean it was really toxic. I'll share you a story to know how toxic I was growing up. So, living with my auntie, my wicked auntie, as I growing up as a child, nobody taught me nothing because my grandma already passed. Like when you're having cramps, when you're becoming, because I'm going to the age of like 12, 13, where you're going to like teenager or something. But there was nobody to tell me that you're supposed to be experiencing this, you're supposed to be experiencing that. I don't have those growing up leisure, nothing, because mom is dead, dad is with his family. I'm here with this lady that just hates me for no just reason. I'm not to her. I don't know why she hates me that much. So I'll tell you why I said it's very toxic. Okay, on this very day, thank God I'm still alive here to talk to you today. On this very day, I was having cramp. Normally, the cramp normally come and go, but this very day, the cramp was so much. So, on my tummy side. So I went to her, I was like, auntie, look at what's wrong with me. I explained myself to her. I remember her giving me a tablet, two tablets. I don't know. I was expecting maybe just give me Panadol or something. She gave me the tablet, and I remember the elder daughter, the second elder daughter, screamed. I'm like, "Mom, that's white quinine." Then she was like, "Shoo!" So you know the kind of stuff. So she gave me the medication, and I drank it because I did not know what was going on with me. So I can remember after drinking the medication, I've not even stepped out of where she was. Like maybe 10 to 5 seconds, I pass out. Like I, that's the first and last time I want to pass out in my life. I passed out like I went unconsciously. So I know when in that floor when I passed out, I was hearing arguments. Like the other auntie was like, "Why if this girl should die, our blood is gonna be on your head." Then they were screaming. There was just argument. "Do you want to kill her? What has she done to you?" Blah blah blah. So to God be the glory. After a couple of hours, then I woke up, but nobody explained to me what my auntie gave to me to drink. Nobody said anything about it. Everybody was just looking at me like, she's okay. You know the way villager is okay. That was how I woke up from that day, and how I get to know that the medication that my auntie gave to me was a damaging medication because one, I've not even gotten breast then. I've not even seen anything called period. I don't even know what is period. Nothing. So the reason why she gave me that medication is unknown to her. I don't know the reason why. So growing up then, you know, as a kid, when you're growing up, the adult will send you on errands, you'll be screaming, oh, the name of whatever they send you to, whatever they send you. So I remember somebody sent me on an errand to go get that the same drug that my auntie gave to me to drink. So I called the name. I was running to the place, and as soon as I get to the chemist, I quickly shout, "I want to buy white quinine." And the one elderly woman that was there grabbed me and said, "This child, you are very little. You don't even have breast. You don't do this. You don't. Who got you pregnant?" I was like, "Oh, wait. I like, pregnant. What are you saying?" Then she was like, "And the medication you want to buy is for this, is for that." I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." I got the medication, then I went back